Hey guys, God bless you. Welcome to another episode of the Bible in Context. Today we are checking out Romans chapter 8, verse 18, and it goes as follows. For I considered that the sufferings of this present time are not worth comparing with the glory that is to be revealed to us. So, this scripture I've seen be thrown around a lot out of context, and the way that they use it is like, okay, whatever you're suffering with today, don't worry about it. God will bring you through, and the things that God has planned for you is nothing compared to the suffering you're going through right now. And although that sounds beautiful and great, that is not what the scripture is talking about at all. Now, if we go a little bit further back in the scripture, like always, because you see there's a column separating this, but the King James Version is what introduced these separate columns. That wasn't there before, so this is one letter by Paul. If you go a little bit further behind, Paul's literally talking about do not set your mind on things like of the flesh, set your mind on things of the spirit. So it would be kind of foolish if he's talking about your fleshly life here, because it would make no sense at all in the context. If we use the context of like this is for our fleshly lives, like this is Paul's talking about glory to be revealed in our lives here on this earth, then it goes completely against everything else Paul was talking about in the rest of this chapter, which is talking about not looking at things of the flesh, look at them with the spirit, understand things in the spirit, live by the spirit, walk by the spirit, not by the flesh. Now also we have to look at the common sense of this. So Paul is writing this and he's like, nothing is like the sufferings here is not compared to the glory we're about to receive. And you have to ask yourself, what glory did Paul receive afterwards? Paul did not receive any glory here on earth. Paul, matter of fact, was slandered, beaten, he was cursed at, spit at, and all these things. So he did not get any glory here on earth. In fact, he got the total opposite. He got more sufferings. But Paul began to rejoice in the sufferings. Why? Because he knew a day was coming where the suffering would no longer exist. And that day, ladies and gentlemen, will not come to pass until we are with the Father, glorified with the Father. That's literally what Paul says here. Let's go back to verse 17 before the column separates. Let's read it right now. You ready? Let's go to 16. Where is it at? Right here. The Spirit himself bears witness with our spirit that we are children of God, and if children, then heirs, heirs of God, and fellow heirs with Christ, provided we suffer with him, in order that we may also be glorified with him. Now we know that Christ is glorified in his glorified body right now as we speak. We know that Christ, we are going to be revealed as glorified with Christ, as it says right here. Let's continue reading verse 18 now. For I consider that the sufferings of this present time are not worth comparing with the glory that is to be revealed to us. For the creation waits with eager longing for the revealing of the sons of God, speaking about us, when we will be revealed as sons of God. When? On the last day. You see, what Paul is talking about here is when what we're going to be revealed is when we pass away from this life and when we are present with Christ, when we are glorified with Christ. He is not talking about our lives here on earth. Now listen, I think that would be fantastic. It would be beautiful to say that, the sufferings that we're enduring right now, we're going to get over them. And you know what? I hope that is true. I hope we do. That would be fantastic. I hope whatever you're going through right now as you're watching this, I hope you get over it. I hope you get through it. I hope God sees you through it if it's in his perfect divine will. Now look, if you need prayer, if you need some prayer, I'm right here. All you got to do is shoot me a DM, text me, call me. I will pray for you. I would love to stand in agreement with your prayers. But all I want to tell you right now here is that this scripture is not talking about that. This scripture is not talking about glory here on earth. It's literally coming against that. If you just go a few verses back, this whole chapter 8 is Paul talking about the Spirit. And by using this scripture out of context, we are going against what Paul the Apostle is trying to make so clear here. The scripture, just to sum it all up, is about the glory that we are about to receive when we get to the kingdom of heaven. Nothing on this earth is going to compare to that. Every car, every house, every piece of jewelry, every kind of thing you could possibly think of will never compare to being face to face with our glorified King and being glorified just as he is. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Please like, comment, subscribe. You have a good one.